Okay, so let's dive into today's news, shall we? We've got a lot to unpack. We've got AI, we've got those delivery services, like how do they get my groceries so quickly? There's a lot of growth, apparently,
Yeah.
um, and some pretty big moves in the crypto world, plus the latest in Washington, D.C.
It's fascinating to see how quickly things are developing, right? AI is going from, a cool concept to an actual tool.
Yeah, it's not just like science fiction anymore. It's actually happening.
Right. And then you see the way businesses are adapting and governments are, well, trying to adapt.
Speaking of adapting, let's start with the AI news. One of the reports we have focuses on the real estate market and says that by next year, AI will be a big player.
That's 2025.
Yeah, 2025, so just around the corner. And just imagine AI handling, all those questions people have when they're buying or selling a place.
Or even things like, analyzing market trends to figure out pricing or investment strategies.
Right, it can make the whole process so much more efficient, like less paperwork, less back and forth.
And potentially more accurate, right? AI can crunch numbers and spot patterns that humans might miss.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's not just about speed, it's about better decisions, too.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is that real estate has always been such a people-focused industry, right?
Yeah, it's all about relationships.
So to see AI coming into that space, it's like a shift towards data-driven insights, but working alongside those human relationships.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that balance plays out.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just real estate that AI is shaking up. Another report dives into the oil and gas industry.
Now, that's a massive sector.
Huge. And they're predicting major growth in the use of AI all the way to 2032. Think about optimizing those complex operations, managing resources more efficiently.
And safety, right? Oil and gas can be a dangerous business, so using AI to, identify risks and prevent accidents could be huge.
Absolutely. And if you think about the scale of oil and gas operations,
Yeah.
the potential for AI to make things more sustainable is massive.
Yeah, reducing waste, minimizing environmental impact, that's got to be a priority.
Right. And it seems like AI innovation is happening everywhere, not just in those big industries. We've also got a story about Assista AI, which is a startup in Romania.
What are you working on?
They're developing AI agents to automate everyday tasks for businesses.
Oh, that's interesting. Like kind of like a virtual assistant, but for specific business processes.
Exactly. And they just secured 100,000 euros in funding. So clearly investors see potential there.
It shows how AI is becoming accessible to smaller players too, right? It's not just this expensive technology that only giant corporations can afford.
Right. It's becoming more democratized.
Exactly. All right. So we've talked about AI transforming industries, but what about how those industries deliver their products?
That brings us to the first and last mile delivery market, or as I like to call it, how do they get my stuff here so fast?
Yeah, that's the one that really affects everyone, right?
Big time. And apparently it's about to undergo a major shift.
A big move is how they put it in the report.
Yeah, big move. Some of the key players mentioned are Gojek's, Delivery, Lalamove Shipped, and Instacart. So what could this big move actually look like?
Well, it could be a few things, right? We might see some of these companies merging or partnering up.
Yeah, consolidation makes sense.
Or maybe there will be a bigger push towards new delivery tech like drones or self-driving vehicles.
I mean, those are already being tested in some places.
Right, so maybe we'll see that go mainstream. Or it could be something as simple as major changes in pricing or how they structure their services.
Yeah, competition could really drive innovation in that area.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of innovation, let's shift gears and look at what's happening in the aviation industry.
All right, up to the skies we go. The report on the aviation actuator system market predicts it'll hit $3.1 billion by 2031. But what are aviation actuator systems?
Basically, they're the things that control the movement of different parts of an aircraft.
So like the flaps on the wings, the rudder, things like that.
Exactly. They make sure everything moves smoothly and safely. And this growth in the market means they're investing in even more advanced systems.
So potentially more efficient and reliable aircraft.
And maybe even lighter systems, which could mean better fuel efficiency.
Yeah, that would be a big win. Now, it's not just aviation. We're seeing strong growth forecasts across a whole bunch of tech and manufacturing sectors. One that caught my eye was the global metal oxide varistors market.
What are those again?
They're these tiny components that protect electronics from power surges.
Oh, like the things that stop your phone from frying when the power flickers?
Precisely. And that market is predicted to reach almost $30 billion by 2031, growing at a rate of 12.9% annually.
That's a huge jump. It just goes to show how much we rely on electronics these days.
Yeah, everything from smartphones to cars to those giant industrial machines needs protection from power surges. And with more devices comes more demand for these varistors.
Absolutely. And speaking of growing demand, the cloud application security market is also on the rise.
Makes sense with so much data and so many applications moving to the cloud.
Security is paramount, right? You've got to protect all that information from hackers and cyber attacks.
And this report forecasts growth through 2031, so clearly that's a long-term trend.
Yeah, businesses are realizing that investing in cloud security is not optional, it's essential.
Now let's talk transportation. The global electric hub drive and propulsion system market is expected to hit nearly $140 billion by 2031.
Wow, that's a massive number.
And it's a clear indication that electric vehicles are becoming mainstream.
Yeah, it's not just about cars either. We're talking buses, trucks, delivery vans, the whole spectrum.
Right. It seems like the shift towards electric transportation is accelerating across the board.
Absolutely. Now, here's one that might surprise some people. The A2P SMS market is also expected to see explosive growth.
Now hold on, A2P SMS, that's those text messages you get from businesses, right?
Yeah.
Like appointment reminders or shipping notifications.
Exactly.
But with all the messaging apps out there, I thought SMS was kind of a thing of the past.
Well, it turns out good old-fashioned text messaging is still super reliable.
Yeah, I guess it works even if you don't have Wi-Fi or data.
And it reaches pretty much everyone who has a mobile phone. So businesses are using it for all sorts of critical communications.
Interesting. So it's not just about marketing messages, it's about keeping customers informed and connected.
Exactly. Now let's talk about how businesses are evolving internally. The business process as a service market is also seeing a lot of activity.
Now, what exactly is business process as a service?
It's basically outsourcing specific business functions to external providers.
So instead of handling everything in-house, you're tapping into specialized expertise.
Right, and this report forecasts continued growth in that area, so it seems like more and more companies are choosing to focus on their core strengths and let others handle the rest.
It makes sense to streamline operations and, maybe even save some money in the process.
Yep. Exactly. Efficiency is key. Now, switching gears again, let's talk about some cutting-edge technology. The GaN on diamond semiconductor substrates market is projected to see some impressive growth.
GaN on diamond semiconductor substrates.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Basically, these are advanced materials that can be used to make faster and more energy-efficient electronics.
So like next level computer chips and things like that.
Exactly. And the market for these materials is expected to grow at a rate of 16.6% annually.
Wow, that's really fast.
It highlights the constant drive for innovation in the electronics industry, right? They're always looking for ways to make things smaller, faster, and more powerful.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly technology evolves. Now, speaking of fast-growing markets, we can't forget about the RFID sensor market.
Those are the things that track packages and inventory.
Precisely. And with the e-commerce boom, this market is surging. It's predicted to hit $18.5 billion by 2031.
That's a lot of sensors.
And it makes sense with so many online orders happening these days.
Yeah, businesses need a way to track all those packages and manage their inventory efficiently.
RFID sensors provide that real-time visibility, which is crucial in today's fast-paced retail world.
Absolutely. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in the world of tech and business, but let's shift our focus to the exciting and sometimes confusing world of cryptocurrency.
All right, let's dive into the cryptoverse. First up, we have BNB Chain launching something called the Goodwill Alliance.
What's the goal there?
It's all about combating harmful practices, specifically something called sandwich attacks.
Sandwich attacks.
Yeah, it's a way for some traders to manipulate the market and essentially steal profits from other people.
Oh, that doesn't sound very good-willed.
No, not at all. So the Goodwill Alliance is trying to create a more ethical and secure trading environment within the BNB ecosystem.
It's good to see them taking steps to protect users.
Right, because with all the innovation happening in crypto, there's also a lot of potential for, scams and bad actors.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of innovation, there's an interesting story about Slingshot DAO.
What are they up to?
They're building an AI-powered platform for investing in games, and they just secured $16 million from some big names in the Web3 world.
So they're combining AI and blockchain in the gaming industry? That's an interesting intersection.
It shows how these different technologies are converging and how investors are betting on the potential of this convergence.
Yeah, it seems like the lines between gaming, finance, and tech are blurring more and more these days.
Definitely. Now let's talk about some big moves in the crypto market. A major player, sometimes called a whale, made a massive short bet against Bitcoin perpetual futures.
Short bet meaning they think the price of Bitcoin is going to go down.
Exactly. And we're talking over $445 million with 40 times leverage.
That's a huge gamble.
Yeah, high risk, high reward. But here's the interesting part. At the same time, this same whale also made a bullish investment in the Melania token.
So they're betting against Bitcoin, but on Melania.
It seems a bit contradictory, right? But it highlights the volatility and unpredictability of the crypto market.
Yeah, 1 minute you're betting on one thing, the next minute you're doing something completely different.
It's a wild ride, that's for sure. Now let's talk about a company trying to bring crypto into the mainstream. Reddit Pay just secured $40 million in funding.
What's Reddit Pay's mission?
They want to make it easier for people to use cryptocurrency for everyday transactions.
So like paying for your groceries or your coffee with Bitcoin.
Exactly. And this funding round shows that there's a lot of belief in the future of crypto payments.
Yeah, it seems like the infrastructure for using crypto in the real world is steadily being built.
Definitely. Now let's wrap up with a bit of traditional news. President Trump signed a government funding bill preventing a partial government shutdown.
So the government will keep running, at least for now.
That's right. The bill funds the government through September and keeps spending pretty much at current levels around $1.7 trillion.
And this all happened amidst reports of some pretty deep divisions in Congress.
Yeah, it seems like finding common ground is more challenging than ever in the current political climate.
But hey, at least they avoided a shutdown.
That's a win for everyone involved. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the most important developments happening right now.
From the rise of AI, to the evolution of business models, to the wild world of crypto and the complexities of government funding, it's a lot to take in.
It really is. And it all points to a future that's rapidly changing and full of both challenges and opportunities.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day, think about how these trends might impact your own life and what questions they raise for you.
Because one thing's for sure, the future is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to engage with it.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.